The story begins inside a tough, high-security prison. A group of gang members are walking toward the bathroom. Inside, there's a man named Bone. One of the prisoners, Danny, warns Bone that a dangerous gang is coming to fight him. Soon, the gang leader walks in and tells Bone that he made a big mistake by not joining them. Bone calmly takes off his shirt and tells them they still have a chance to walk away. But they laugh at him. The gang leader attacks first, but Bone is too fast. He knocks him down with one quick move. Then, the other gang members try to fight too, but Bone beats them all easily, one after another. Before leaving, Bone tells the gang leader to spread a message: don't mess with him. Soon after, Bone is released from prison. He goes to a small hotel and books a room. The hotel is run by a woman named Tamara. She tells him, "I don't want any trouble here." Bone replies, "Neither do I." Later, Bone visits an underground street fighting arena. A man named Pinball is running the fights. Bone watches as a big fighter named Hammerman wins another match. Hammerman works for a rich and powerful guy named James. When the fight ends, Pinball gives the winnings to James. But when Pinball gets in his car, he's shocked. Bone is already sitting inside. Pinball thinks he's about to get robbed, but Bone just asks him for a fight with Hammerman. At first, Pinball says no. He tells Bone that Hammerman is a big deal and Bone is a nobody. But when Bone gives him his last $250, Pinball agrees to set up a smaller fight for him first. Meanwhile, James gets a call from a man named Franklin, who tells James to kill someone named Daryl. James agrees, and even spots Franklin watching him from his car. Back at the arena, Pinball introduces Bone to James, saying he's the new fighter. James quickly notices that Bone keeps looking at his girlfriend, Angela. James warns her not to look back at him, and Pinball warns Bone not to cross that line. Now it's time for Bone's first fight. His opponent is huge, but very slow. Bone watches his movements carefully. Once the fight starts, Bone lands a powerful blow and wins within seconds. Pinball is thrilled and tells Bone he'll make him famous by organizing more fights, maybe even one with Hammerman. Later, Pinball tells Bone the truth about Angela. She was once married and pregnant, but James framed her husband and sent him to jail. Then he took Angela and hid her and her child. Angela's life has become miserable. She's now using drugs and trapped by James. In the next scene, we see James having dinner with Daryl and his girlfriend. James suddenly starts singing, then shockingly stabs Daryl with a sword and beats him to death. Back at the hotel, Tamara sees Bone and notices he has a small wound. She helps him clean it. Bone asks her about the children living at the hotel. She says she's been taking care of some of them for years. One boy, Gerard, has only been with her for a year. The next day, Bone sees Tamara trying to protect Gerard from some local street thugs. They're rude, but when Bone shows up, they run away. Then Pinball picks up Bone, and they go watch a new fight between two women. One of them, Veretta, wins and catches Bone's attention. Pinball arranges a new fight for Bone with a fighter who works for a guy named Tattoo. Before the match, Bone notices that his opponent has a weak shoulder. As soon as the fight starts, Bone hits him hard and wins with a single blow. Pinball, impressed, jokes that Bone could beat two fighters at once. Tattoo accepts the challenge and doubles the bet. Bone then takes down the two fighters easily. Tattoo tries to cheat him, but Bone defeats 10 more fighters and takes the money by force after Tattoo pulls a gun. Veretta is clearly into Bone and gives him her number. As Bone keeps winning fights, he becomes more famous. He earns a lot of money and respect. Back at the hotel, Tamara sees him teaching martial arts to Gerard and later helping her learn some moves too. She starts to trust him. Meanwhile, James suspects that someone is leaking information about him. He chases a girl who might have betrayed him and kills her with his car. Roberto, an older man from the hotel, sees it happen. Soon after, James's men kill Roberto to keep him quiet. Tamara is heartbroken by Roberto's death. Bone comforts her, but suddenly, James shows up at the hotel. He taunts Bone and says he's paid $5 million to set up a big fight for him against Franklin's undefeated fighter. But Bone says he's still thinking about it. James gets angry and threatens Tamara with a gun. He says if Bone doesn't fight, he'll hurt her and all the kids she's protecting. After James leaves, Bone tells Tamara to take the children somewhere safe. She agrees, but asks him to leave once she returns. James sends Hammerman to find and kill Bone. Hammerman attacks Pinball for information, but Bone shows up and kills Hammerman and James's other men. Angela is still at the rehab center, and Pinball is now guarding her. When James sends Teddy to kill her, Bone shows up and kills Teddy and the rest of the goons. Pinball also helps. Bone calls James on Teddy's phone and tells him he's coming for him next. James sets up the final fight at Franklin's mansion. Important people from around the world are there to watch. Bone arrives. James threatens him again, but Bone isn't afraid. Then, James confesses to killing Danny, Bone's friend from prison, and Roberto. But Bone had secretly recorded everything. He sends the video to Pinball, who alerts the police. Franklin's fighter arrives, mocking Bone. The fight begins. At first, it's a tough battle, but Bone fights back hard and defeats him. But right before the referee calls the win, Bone steps away and surrenders on purpose, just so James will lose all his money. James is furious. He grabs a sword and tries to kill Bone. But Franklin throws Bone a sword too. Surprisingly, Bone is very skilled with it. He cuts off James's arm. Then, sirens are heard. The police are arriving. Bone escapes just in time while the police arrest James. Franklin tells his gang to beat up James in jail for threatening him. Back at the hotel, Angela finishes rehab and reunites with her son Gerard. Tamara realizes that Bone came to the hotel to protect them all along. Angela asks him to stay, but Bone says his mission is done. He tells Tamara to take care of Angela and her son. Then, he says goodbye to everyone, including Pinball, and walks away quietly. As the movie ends, we see James locked up in the same prison where the story began. But this time, he's not the boss anymore.